This is max. Okay. So that's where we're gonna install this thing. Well, first things first, gotta clear out some of this stuff. See? I think, yep. There's your outlet, that's what I didn't want. Okay, so here's our well. This is where the chimney is going. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the front glass, which is right there. I followed the directions, but I couldn't really find these screws until I figured out that they were in there. So don't trust these translated directions, man. Okay guys, so I marked out where it needs to go in pencil. I'm going to double check it and then put some tape around it and make sure the doesn't chip and it gives me better visibility before I cut this. Alright, so I'm ready to cut this, and I do want to get a vacuum cleaner so it doesn't get super dusty. And we'll be ready to rock. Okay, so I got some blue tape around it just to make sure it doesn't chip or anything like that. I just want to keep it clean. And I'm going to go at it with the oscillating tool, aka the dildo. So here we go. Alright, I'm going to use the vacuum cleaner simultaneously so that I don't make a mess out of this here. I'm going to go in like that. I got this piece of drywall out. It cut really well. I just want to correct that, but man, I just love that oscillating tool. It's just the best, man. So now comes the hard part. I gotta go in there and cut some of these. This thing's gonna be recessed all the way in, about, what is it, 5.5, so time to get the reciprocating saw. Okay, so these are obviously non-load bearing, so I'm gonna cut them in half with a jigsaw. Not the reciprocating saw, I don't want it to get too messy here. And it seems like I'll be able to pull them off. Obviously I gotta leave this outlet dangling. That'll become my source power. So let's get to it. What I'm going to do here is cut these 2x in half and see if I can get them out. Loose in there, so that's good. As I said, they're non-load bearing, it's no problem. Next. And next. Okay. Alright. Now, this top one. Okay. Plenty of space there. Okay, now for this, I still want to cut this way. Be really careful with freaking cables. enough there. I'm gonna, yeah, see. This comes out too pretty well. Easy. Then this one's loose too, but I gotta remove this outlet. Okay, so I got all three of those studs out, but I still need more clearance here, and I need about 5.5 inches. And the problem is that I'm about 1/4 inch off here, so this outlet from the other side is impeding, which is a bitch. Alright guys, here we are a couple of hours later. Just got back from Home Depot. So I still wouldn't have enough clearance to get this thing all the way back. So I have to go in and trim these studs that are basically just holding the wall, the drywall on the other side. These are, I mean, there's very little load here. Okay guys, so I ran out of memory on the iPhone on the day of the installation, so I'm just gonna tell you what I did afterwards. Once I got that clearance of, I think I got a clearance of about 6 inches, and that was by replacing the outlet with one of those slim outlets that I found at Home Depot. And basically it's probably a couple of inches deep, and to the side of it, it has a little compartment where you can put the extra slack for the cable. The fireplace has some ears on each side of it, sort of like this. You know, this is just an example. But so basically, the fireplace is going to mount with 2 screws to some sort of backing. Okay, and I'll show you what I did there. Okay, so I took a 2x4, 2 of them. They were about 30 inches, so it went all the way to the ground and almost all the way to the top to provide for best support. So what I did, just pretend this is one side of that hole. Okay. I took a piece of 2x and measured it so that, because I dry fitted this fireplace into it, and there's a little slack on the sides, so just pull it in a little bit right there, and then clamp with your hand. Go through it like that. Okay, I went through it too much there, but it's just an example. On each side, then it was just a matter of adding a few screws. The TV had, or not the TV, the fireplace had these ears on either side that would just basically fit like that. Okay. Then I drew a couple of screws on the top and bottom, and the thing is secure. After that, the glass just fit, gave it a little bit of an overlap. So the glass itself, that's the last piece that goes on this fireplace, covered up these drywall screws for really clean install. And that was it, guys. There were some challenges. Basically, the biggest challenge was the electrical. Oh, I gotta show you the electrical. So as far as the electrical, what I had to do is that first outlet that you saw at the beginning of the video, that had to be buried, not buried, but I got a junction box, and that junction box was just at the bottom, so and reconnected the cables inside that junction box, which basically completed the circuit. That's code. You have to have a junction box inside a wall. You can't have these cables just spliced together without a junction box. For the other outlet, like I already talked about, is the slimmer outlet. And the other thing I discovered is, unfortunately, this appliance requires you to have the outlet outside of the wall. You cannot hardwire this into the junction box like it was my plan. But after reading the manual, I discovered that they're very specific about the plug being outside the wall, so that for some reason, if you have to disconnect this appliance, then you can do that. It's a security feature. So, not the cleanest install, but I was able to get that plug out to the other side on the plug on the outlet on the opposite side of that wall, where the dining room is, and it worked out pretty well. This is Max. Okay, so that's where we're gonna install this thing. Well, first things first, gotta clear out some of this stuff. See? I think, yep. Well, there's your outlet. That's what I didn't want. Okay, so here's our well. This is where the chimney is going. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the front glass, which is right there. I followed the directions, but I couldn't really find these screws until I figured out that they were in there. So, don't trust these translated directions, man. Okay guys, so I marked out where it needs to go in pencil. I'm going to double check it and then put some tape around it and make sure the